Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I am Coach Sherry. I'm in my vehicle and this is Car Chat and all that. Listen, I don't have my selfie stick again. I can't believe it. So just bear with me if there's some shaking or moving or whatever. But I just wanted to come on here because a lot of people are interested in moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I don't blame them. Listen, I moved here from many different places because I started out growing up in New Jersey, went to college in Pennsylvania, experienced Philly, DC, all of that great stuff. Moved back after graduating from college and then worked in Manhattan for 4 years. Then got married, moved to LA, St. Louis, New Orleans, landed here in Charlotte, been here for over 20 years. And in the meantime, in between time, lived in Virginia for 3 years and then back again to Charlotte. But I've always wanted to live in the state of North Carolina. And I knew that a long time ago when I was still in college, actually. I remember one day just saying, well, you know what? I think I want to live in North Carolina. And at that time, Charlotte really wasn't popping like that. It wasn't what it is today. And I didn't know what part of North Carolina. I just knew that one day I wanted to live in North Carolina. So when we lived in New Orleans, and I loved New Orleans, and I'm so grateful for my husband's career, which allowed us to live and experience all of these amazing cities. But I remember living in New Orleans, and my husband's contract was up with the Saints, so he was a free agent. And Charlotte was one of the teams that was vying for him. And secretly, I really wanted Charlotte. I mean, also Baltimore was also, the Ravens were looking at him too. And that would have brought us both closer to our families. But I don't know, it was something special about North Carolina. So we ended up in Charlotte. It was the closest we had been to our family in many years because he's from New York, I'm from New Jersey, and we've always lived so far from our families. And even though Charlotte is still relatively far, it's close enough to drive if we want. And we do and have and do and all that. But you all, over 100 people move to Charlotte every single day. They are moving to Charlotte like Charlotte is giving something away. And I know that there are some people that love it, and then there are some people that hate it once they get here. There are two different types of perspectives. And so I just wanted to give you my perspective on it because, you know, I feel like I've been here for so long and I've lived in so many other different places that I enjoyed, not just as much, but for different reasons, you know. And I just want to give my point of view of when you do move away to a new location, different things to look for, and also the type of expectation that you should have, because I think that's the problem. A lot of people are hearing great things about Charlotte. It's booming, it's growing, it's doing all kinds of things, it's the place to be. And you know, when they get oh excuse me, when they get here what was that? When they get here, they are like, wait, nothing's falling into my lap. Where's all the happenings? What's going on? They're not experiencing the things that people have shared with them. And so that's just the thing. No matter where you live in the world, even, you can't expect things to just fall into your lap. If you are already not that type of person that is outgoing, that is curious and are interested in meeting different people and getting to know them genuinely, being your authentic self, then no matter where you live, you're going to have a challenge. You know, nothing is going to be easy. One thing though, I will say, moving to Charlotte, if you are already affiliated with an association or an organization, it does make it a lot easier to find your tribe. You know, if you belong to a sorority, fraternity, if you belong to a particular church group or, you know, type of church that may have a branch here, or, you know, just joining the church that you really enjoy here. it's really important to find your tribe as soon as you can, because your tribe is not looking for you. Your tribe is not going to find you. And also, I think a challenge is finding someone or people that are originally from Charlotte. I rarely see people or meet people that are from here. I know way more people that are not from Charlotte, that are from other places, be it around the world or other states, you know, mostly New York, New Jersey, some California, Texas, just all over. It's amazing all the different types of people that are moving here for a variety of reasons. And also, I find that if a person is single and they're a young person, this could be a challenging place to live as well. I mean, we do have a young adult scene. I have 3 young adults, 2 of which are living in Charlotte. My youngest is getting ready to move to another major city, but you know, there is a scene for young adults, for midlife adults, for older adults as well. Again, though, you have to seek it out. It's not going to just, the invitations aren't going to just be flying out at you. You have to be willing to try new things, to explore, to put yourself out there. You know, my son, even though he was born in New Orleans, he basically grew up here because he was 7 months old when we moved to Charlotte. But he recognized that a lot of young adults are moving here and they don't really have an outlet. Yeah, there are clubs and such, bars and things, but that's not really a place where you can truly form those great relationships. So he has what he calls game night periodically, and he invites people, his colleagues, friends, his sisters, both if they're both in town, you know, to come out and just have a good time. You know, a lot of his games have those question cards, and so getting to know people. But, you know, there's not a lot of that going on. But Charlotte does have Bloomingthal, which great plays come into town. We have the Spectrum with the Hornets. They are an NBA team, and also great concerts, you know, level A or grade A, whatever you call it, concerts come. We also have the Bank of America Stadium where the Panthers play. So we have NFL, professional football. We have the Knights Stadium, where it's called Truist Stadium, where the Knights, who is the minor league baseball team, plays. Soccer games come here. Just a lot of great things. So if you love theater, if you love music, if you love sports, you can find all of that here. Charlotte is a growing city. It definitely is a place where if you have creative ideas, if you're innovative, if you want to start your own thing that makes sense, then you definitely can do it here. There's a lot of great opportunities for jobs, for your career. It's just a matter of how you position yourself and make yourself attractive for those opportunities. Listen, if you're having a challenge finding that perfect position where you're at, you may have just as hard of a time finding it here too. So I would recommend that you connect with a career coach. I'm a career coach, so you know, you can hit me up, but definitely connect with a professional that can help you fine-tune your brand and who you are, how you're showing up. Because a lot of times people just think, oh, I'm just gonna apply and I'm gonna get it. They don't tweak anything, you know, they don't speak to the positions that they're applying to. The position they're applying to may not even be something that they are experienced in, just something that they're interested in. And you have to definitely be very intentional and strategic, especially when you are relocating somewhere else. Now, traffic, let me tell you, traffic is not as bad as LA or Atlanta for sure, but it is getting there. The engineering that went into the roads, the highways here to accommodate the growth of Charlotte, it has a lot to be desired, let's say that. They're not really driver friendly, so you have to be on your P's and Q's. But you know what? Every major city, people always say, oh, people here drive terrible. So I take that with a grain of salt. But Charlotte traffic is starting to pick up in a way that's very metropolitan. So you have to have patience. We do have a light rail transit system, and I enjoy taking it. However, it really doesn't take you where you really need to go. You will have to walk or drive the rest of the way, or to get there, you might need to drive or get a ride or however to get to the train. The train system here just kind of goes up and down. It doesn't go too far. It doesn't really go out of the city, really. So if you live on the outskirts, you either will take the bus or your car and park and ride, you know. Hopefully, and I believe in the future, not too far in the future, that's going to expand, at least to take people to the airport. That would be great. You know, we do have an airport that has international flights, so you definitely can get to other destinations for vacations, holidays, to see your family, you know, from wherever you are from. But I will say the flights out of Charlotte are very expensive, especially if you're going to New Jersey or New York. But we do have smaller airports on the outskirts, like in Concord, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. I know some people will drive out that far. Raleigh is not too far. It's about 2 hours. But there are some people that drive that far because they say the savings are so worth it. So, you know, it's hit or miss. The other thing about Charlotte is that it's about 2 hours from the mountains, about 2 hours from the ocean. So we're nestled right in between. Our seasons, we have 4 seasons. The summers are hot, but they're hot everywhere. They've been a little milder here lately. We do have winter. We can get snow, but we don't always. We haven't had snow really in about 2 years. We'll get ice often before snow, but trust, things will shut down at the threat of snow. So it doesn't have to snow. If they just say snow is coming, school is closed. So it's one of those types of places. You know how the South is. So, but I do enjoy the 4 seasons, even though the winter is not that long. I was just talking to someone today about winter and how, you know, out of the whole winter, from even late fall to all the way through winter, I may wear a winter coat for maybe a month's time altogether, about 30 days, because that's really kind of how the weather is. It doesn't get extremely cold like it does up north, which I'm grateful for. But I do enjoy the winter. Now, when I say it doesn't get that cold, it still gets cold enough to wear your winter gear if you're that type of seasonal outfits person. But I recommend Charlotte. Also, before moving here, definitely visit and stay a while and come back a few times. Maybe even come back for each season so you can see what the vibe is of the city, you know, for those 4 seasons, because people change, the scenery changes, and you just, you know, need to see what that is all about. I also recommend to visit and to drive around, because Charlotte is becoming, I don't want to call it a melting pot, it's more of a tossed salad. There's people from all over the world now that live here, so many different cultures and different people, and so no one is really meshing, you know. It's like a tossed salad where you can identify the different vegetables, but all together it tastes good, and that's what Charlotte is. And so there's different areas, and each area really speaks to your personality depending on what it is. If you like to be more laid back, kick back, then you want to live like on the north side. You know, the north side has really nice communities with lakes. They also have golf communities. But if you like lake living with boats where you can get a pontoon boat, jet skis and things like that, and just kind of have almost like a resort vibe, then North Charlotte I highly recommend. If you want to have something more elegant where, you know, if you want to throw on your fur coat and go to the supermarket and have no one looking at you like, what does she have on? Then I would recommend South Charlotte, like the Ballantyne area. Also the university area, if you're a young adult and you want to be around more people that are just out and about, that's kind of like the university area. And that's the like northeast, kind of a little bit of the northwest side. Also the outskirts of Charlotte, we have Huntersville, Concord, Matthews. There's a lot of different areas right on the outskirts of Charlotte where you can find places to live that are just a little bit cheaper than Charlotte. It's not as accessible to the light rail, but again, where's the light rail taking you? It's just up and down. I will say you need a car, so if you are moving from a major city like a New York, a DC, Philly, California and places like that where the rail system kind of can take you where you need to be. Charlotte is not like that. You need a car. And I think that's one of the other things that people get discouraged about, because if they're used to being able to walk to the corner store and stuff like that, there are places that you can do that, but not the majority of the places. So you have to keep that in mind, that you will need a car. And I'm not mad at it, because I mean, I have a car, drive, and people will say, oh, it's far, but everything really is about 30 minutes away, you know, so just count on that. About 15 to 30 minutes away is going to be, you know, basically getting around. And the city of Charlotte is called Uptown, not downtown. And I know there's a more specific reason, but if you're walking around in the Uptown area, you can tell why it's called Uptown. It's literally a hill to get to the main area of the city. So it's going up to the city, not downtown like how it is in most major cities. So again, if you are considering Charlotte, I still think that it is one of the hottest places ever. You definitely can still get your money's worth, still get more money's worth in terms of real estate than you can in most other major areas. My car just turned off. Oh, wait. And so you definitely, you know, will get bang for your buck here. People are friendly, you know, you can find your tribe. So many people have those friends that are now more like family, because there's so many people that are away from their family and they're just looking for those kindred spirits. I love it when I meet people from up top. That's what we call it down here. You from up top, you know, you from Jersey, you from New York, and then you just kind of find the commonalities and reminisce and, you know, just have a good time. But also just, you know, broadening your horizons by meeting all types of people. Also, I just want to just put this in here too. When it comes to schools, if you have young children, you definitely want to check out the schools. And this is what I say. It is going to be challenging to find the consistency. So if you have a young child and they're going to start in elementary, maybe middle school, high school, all that, you may not find that consistency across the board in one area, in one community. So a lot of people they have to travel a little bit to take their kids to different schools, but that's also a choice. And you can't just rely on the school to do all the education for your child. If you are a parent that's going to be very involved in the school system, your child's going to be all right. Trust, I know. So, you know, you want to put some stock into that, making sure you're in a good area, but don't just think like, okay, this is the best area for school, because schools change and I've seen it. You know, you may live in an area and the middle school is great, but the elementary school is not so much, the high school not so much, or vice versa, any kind of configuration of that. So you just have to understand what your role is going to be in that whole process. All right, there's a lot of great resources out here that you could take advantage of. There are a lot of charter schools, private schools as well, but the public schools aren't highly rated, but you still can get great opportunities by attending them. So don't think you can't. All right, well, if you have any other questions about living in Charlotte, leave me a comment down below and I will definitely answer your questions. I appreciate your time for sticking through all my coughing and craziness. What in the world? I appreciate your time for being here and tuning in with me. Remember, practice every day. Practice so hard that when you get into play, you will play to win. I am Coach Sherry.